This past February, the Kansas City Chiefs accomplished back-to-back Super Bowl victories, a feat only achieved 8 times before. And of the previous 8 tries of a three-peat, none of them even made it back to the Super Bowl. With the 94 Cowboys, 90 49ers, and 76 Steelers all failing in the conference championship game, the 05 Patriots and 74 Dolphins each falling in the divisional round, including the classic Sea of Hands play in 74. And the 1980 Steelers and 1999 Broncos and 68 Packers, more on them later, all not making playoffs due to legendary careers and dynasties coming to their respective ends. And this upcoming fall and winter, the Chiefs look to achieve something that's never been done before, winning 3 straight Lombardi trophies. But what about the pre-Super Bowl era? Has anyone ever three-peated there? Has anyone even come close to it? Well, the answers may surprise you. Since the NFL's inception in 1920, it only took its 4th year to have its first ever back-to-back champion in the Canton Bulldogs, winning the NFL championship in 1922 and 1923, with a combined 21 wins, 0 losses, and 3 ties, including going 25 straight games without losing a single game, an NFL record that still stands today. However, due to financial instability in 1923, the Canton Bulldogs were purchased by Cleveland Indians owner Sam Deutsch. Renamed the Cleveland Bulldogs, they took the same players, including legendary player-coach, Hall of Famer Guy Chamberlain, and, quote, mothballed their way to a 7-1-1 mark and a 1924 NFL championship. Now, albeit, even though it was Canton and then in 1924 Cleveland, the same players and coach completed the three-peat, winning 3 NFL championships with a combined 2 different cities. The 1932 Chicago Bears won the NFL championship with a 7-1-6 mark, culminated with a bizarre game against the Portsmouth Spartans. I did a whole video about that, link in the description below. And then winning the first ever scheduled NFL championship game, beating the New York Giants 23-21. The Bears would make it to the 1934 NFL championship, once again playing the Giants. However, freezing rain from the previous night froze the field and footing was bad, until the Giants got a hold of some sneakers from Manhattan College's basketball team and improved their footing, and they put together 27 fourth-quarter points. Giants went on to win 30-13. And thus the Bears' three-peat bid vanquished, thanks to what we now know today as the 1934 sneakers game. Chicago's next bid at a three-peat started with the 1940 NFL Championship demolition of Washington 73-0. Bears would win the 1941 championship with a 37-9 demolition of the New York Giants to repeat as champions. The 1942 Bears had a chance to make history, not only three-peat as champions, but complete a perfect season, going 11-0, including posting 4 shutouts, and were even favored by 3 touchdowns against Washington in the championship game. But despite being a 3-touchdown underdog at home, Hall of Fame quarterback Sammy Baugh would lead the Washington Redskins to a 14-6 upset win, flaunting the Bears from not only a three-peat, but a perfect season, one of the biggest upsets in NFL history. The Bears would, however, win 2 more championships shortly after, in 1943 and 46, validating their legacy as the team of the 40s. The 1948 Philadelphia Eagles won the NFL championship in the blizzard 7-0 against the Chicago Cardinals, then repeated in 1949, beating the LA Rams at the Coliseum 14-0, posting back-to-back shutout championship wins. Unlikely to happen again. However, in 1950, here the arrival of the Cleveland Browns thwarted Philadelphia's plans of having any thoughts of a three-peat. After a 1-2 start in 1952, the Detroit Lions, led by Bobby Lane here, went on to win 10 of their last 11, including beating Otto Graham and the Cleveland Browns 17-7 to win their first championship since 1935. In the rematch for the 53 championship, it was a tightly contested battle between the Browns and the Lions, but Jimmy Doran's touchdown catch from Bobby Lane with less than 3 minutes left sealed the deal, and Detroit won 17-16, clinching back-to-back championships. However, the three-peat bid fell short to the next team on this list. The 54 Browns would stop Detroit's three-peat bid with a demolition of 56-10 to win the 54 championship. Then the next year, in 1955, the Browns would beat the Rams 38-14 to go back-to-back championships in what would be Otto Graham's final game with the Cleveland Browns. However, in 1956, the success would not carry over, going only 5-7, due in part to their departure of the greatest quarterback in franchise history. As many of you know, the 58 Colts won the NFL championship in sudden death overtime 23-17 over the New York Giants in what is dubbed the greatest game ever. The Colts would repeat as champions in 1959, beating once again the Giants, this time in comfortable fashion, by a score of 31-16. The Baltimore Colts seemed primed for a three-peat, starting the 60 season at 6-2, but Alan Amici's career-ending Achilles injury derailed the season, and no three-peat for Baltimore. The 61 Packers was the beginning of the Vince Lombardi dynasty, where the Packers would rack up back-to-back championship wins over the New York Giants by the scores of 37-0 and 16-7 respectively, and seemed primed for a three-peat in 1963. However, it took a legendary defense from the Packers from going three in a row. The 63 Bears recorded the Packers' only two losses of the year, which won the Bears the Western Division title and ultimately the NFL championship themselves, beating the Giants 14-10. However, this wouldn't be Lombardi's last chance at a three-peat. The 1929 Packers under legendary coach Curly Lambeau used a 20-6 victory over the Giants to catapult themselves to the 29 championship. In 1930, the Packers went back-to-back by 4 1,000ths on the percentages. If the ties don't count rule was not in effect, then the New York Giants would have won the 1930 championship. And then finally in 1931, the Packers pulled off the three-peat, outlasting the Portsmouth Spartans, who are now the Lions, beating out Portsmouth by one game despite not playing them on their schedule. The Packers' bid at an unheard-of fourth straight championship was thwarted by, ironically, the ties don't count rule. Despite winning more games, it was the extra losses that doomed them. Just like it was the extra loss that helped them win their second of 3 championships. But nonetheless, Curly Lambeau's Green Bay Packers became the first city and franchise to win 3 straight championships. Vince Lombardi's Packers would begin its most prolific run in 1965, beating the defending champion Browns 23-12 in what would be the last NFL championship game prior to the Super Bowl era. The 66 Packers would continue its run with victories over the young and very talented Dallas Cowboys in the NFL Championship and the very game AFL champion Kansas City Chiefs in the inaugural Super Bowl, in which the trophy will forever bear the name Lombardi. In Green Bay's bid for a three-peat, they faced the Dallas Cowboys in one of the greatest games of all time. In the blistering cold, Bart Starr, with a QB sneak with 13 seconds left, gave the Packers the lead for good, sending the Packers to Super Bowl II, where they cooled off the high-octane offense of the Oakland Raiders 33-14. And thus, the mission was complete. Vince Lombardi's Packers had pulled off the three-peat. 3 straight league championships. 1969 was the Packers' first year without their legendary coach. Although it was a stellar 8-6 outing, they stood no contest against the upstart Minnesota Vikings for the Central Division. And thus the bid for a 4th straight league championship and 3rd straight Super Bowl was extinguished. And now we fast forward to 2024. Can Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and Travis Kelce do what Joe Montana, Tom Brady, Terry Bradshaw, and Troy Aikman could not do? Win 3 straight Super Bowls.